By the time night truly arrived, first camp looked less like a camp and more like a dare. Fires burned low in shallow pits, their light eaten at the edges by fog. The half-built watchtower loomed above like a skeleton trying to stand. Tents sagged under moisture. Ropes creaked softly with each tiny shift of weight as crates settled and people tried, and mostly failed, to sleep. The forest didn't sleep. Adu lay on his side under a tarp, a thin blanket between him and the cold ground. He could hear everything. The pop of damp wood in the fire, the murmur of climbers arguing in low voices, the distant drip of water from leaves onto canvas. Jay's breathing a few feet away, too fast, too shallow for real rest. And beneath all of that, like a sound his ears couldn't quite catch, something deeper. A pulse. Not from above, from below. He tried to ignore it, tried to count his breaths. In, out, in, out. Imagine the rice fields. His mother's voice shouting at his little sister to come inside before the rain. The smell of charcoal and garlic. The easy, forgiving noises of home. Instead, he kept hearing Lola. If she calls again, you must be careful. Okay, he thought bitterly. Sure, he'd be careful. He'd carefully not answer. He turned onto his back and stared up at the underside of the tarp. It glistened with moisture, fog condensing into droplets that trembled before falling. One dropped onto his cheek. It was somehow colder than all the others. He wiped it away. A low rumble drifted through the camp. Not thunder. Not this high. Not in this kind of stillness. It sounded thick, like something big shifting its weight in the dark. Adu propped himself up on his elbows. Nobody else moved at first. Then one of the porters muttered and rolled over. Another sat up, rubbing his face. The rumble came again. Closer. Adu's heartbeat sped up. What was that? Someone whispered. Probably a Ramo. Another voice replied, too quickly. They don't come this high. They don't, a third voice said. Usually. The blanket of whispers spread. Adu slipped out from under the tarp, bare feet hitting cold earth. Fog curled around his ankles as if greeting him. The campfires had burned low, orange embers glowing like tired eyes. Beyond their reach, the tree line was a wall of shadow and suggestion. Jay's head popped out from the tarp behind him. You're up too, he whispered. Couldn't sleep, Adu said. Yeah, the ground keeps making noises. Jay grimaced. Not exactly relaxing. The rumble rolled through again, longer, followed by a faint crack like splitting wood. This time, everyone heard it. Voices rose. Lanterns were grabbed. Someone kicked a pot over. Quiet. Vero snapped from near the main fire. He stood, cloak thrown over his armor. Gem-tech harness dark, but ready. No one panics unless I say so. Comforting, Jay muttered under his breath. Adu's eyes locked on the forest. The rumble came a fourth time, and this time, it wasn't alone. Something crashed through undergrowth. Branches snapped. A deep, snorting breath dragged through the night, followed by the heavy thud of massive hooves or something like them. Oh, that's close, Jay said faintly. One of the senior climbers cursed. Ramo bull. Has to be. Ramo don't come this high this season, another retorted. Dominion's been stirring everything, the first argued. Boundaries are messed now. You heard about the herds near South Spine. Enough, Vero said, voice like a blade. Speculation doesn't keep bones unbroken. Lanterners, front. Shields up. Porters behind carts. No one runs. You run, you die. The caravan snapped into motion with the stuttering efficiency of people trying to remember training while terrified. Adu moved almost without thinking, pulling Jay with him behind a stacked row of supply crates. The wood was cold against his back. His breath puffed white in the gem lantern light. He peeked around the edge. The fog near the tree line glowed faintly with the reflection of their lights. Beyond it, something huge moved. A shadow the size of a house shouldered aside saplings like grass. Two curved horns cut through the mist first. Massive, sweeping backward, each as long as a man was tall. A thick neck followed, muscles bunching under matted, dark fur. Eyes glowed a dull, irritated amber as the creature snorted, steam billowing from its nostrils. Ramo, but not like the ones Adu remembered from lowland farms. Those were big, sure, strong, used for pulling plows and carts. This one looked like it had been carved out of old storms. Patches of its hide were armored with stone-like plates. Roots hung tangled from one of its horns, as if it had uprooted a tree and kept the trophy. It stepped into the clearing, hoof sinking slightly into the sodden ground. Gem lanterns flickered. "Hold," Vero barked. He raised one hand slowly, the other hovering near the weapon at his belt. "It's alone. Probably lost. We scare it, it bolts." "No one." The ground shifted, very slightly, enough that Adu felt it through his feet. A faint tremor, like someone taking a breath under a thick blanket of soil. The Ramo's head jerked up. Its ears flicked. It bellowed, deep and angry. The fog behind it moved. Not from wind. Wind would have stirred everything. This movement was selective. A section of mist slid sideways, unnaturally smooth, like a curtain being drawn back. Behind it, something else emerged. At first Adu thought it was another Ramo, even bigger. Then he saw the tail. It was long, too long. It dragged along the ground, thick and scaled, leaving a groove in the wet earth. The creature's body was bulky, hunched, covered in fur that seemed to shift the wrong way as it moved, as if ignoring gravity. Its eyes were wrong. Too many reflections inside each, like multiple pupils arguing over what to look at. It smelled like old blood and rain. And when it stepped fully into the clearing, Adu saw the marks along its flank. Deep, blackened lines like burns. But they didn't smoke. They didn't scar like normal wounds. They glowed faintly purple at the edges, eating light rather than reflecting it. Dominion. The word didn't arrive in his mind so much as in his bones. Jay whispered something that might have been a prayer. The Ramo saw the other beast and screamed, a bellow of rage and terror. It pawed the ground, hooves tearing up mud. The corrupted creature didn't answer. It just lowered its head, tail twitching, eyes fixed on the camp. On the light. "Vero," one of the climbers hissed. "That's not on the charts." "No shit, it's not on the charts." Vero snapped, jaw clenched. His eyes flicked between the two beasts, measuring angles, distances, collateral. "Do we take it down?" another asked. Vero hesitated. That was new. Adu had seen him cocky, annoyed, bored. He'd never seen him unsure. "We hold position," Vero said finally. "Ramo might charge it instead of us. If they fight, we stay out of the way." "And if they don't?" someone else asked. "Then," Vero said, "we earn our pay." The Ramo didn't wait for human strategy. With another roar, it charged. The ground shook. Fog scattered around its bulk. It thundered toward the corrupted beast like a landslide given legs. The other creature met it. They collided with a sound like a tree snapping in half inside Adu's skull. Horns crashed against whatever twisted plating covered the Dominion-touched beast's shoulder. For a moment, the Ramo actually pushed it back, hooves digging trenches. Then the purple glow along the corrupted wounds flared. The beast twisted unnaturally, joints bending in ways that would have shattered normal bone. Its tail snapped around like a whip, slamming into the Ramo's flank. The impact sent a spray of blood and fur into the air. The Ramo stumbled. Its hind leg buckled. "Back!" Vero shouted. "Shields forward. Prepare to scatter if they turn this way." Climbers scrambled into rough formation, shields up, weapons drawn. Gemtech harnesses flared to life, faint circuits glowing along metal plates. Adu pressed his spine harder against the crate. The air felt too thin, like the mountain had decided to reduce the oxygen just to see what they'd do. "Why is it here?" he whispered. Jay swallowed. "What? The beast? The Dominion," Adu said. His chest ached. "It's wrong. It's too high. It's reaching." The Ramo tried to gore the corrupted creature again, horns scraping along its chest. Where it struck, the purple-lit wounds flared brighter, and the beast barely flinched. It grabbed the Ramo's horn in its jaws and bit down. The horn splintered. Adu heard the crack all the way across the clearing. The pressure snapped away. Adu staggered. "Adu!" Jay grabbed his shoulder. Hey, stay with me." The beast roared again, shaking its head as if dislodging something. Gem lanterns swung wildly in the wake of the sound. A memory of Lola's voice cut hard through Adu's panic. "Push it left, away from the Kuminoi veins. You let it thrash there, you all go under." Adu shouted it instead. "Vero, push it left, away from the Kuminoi veins. It's soft there." Another climber went down, shield cracked, arm at an unnatural angle. The beast's tail lashed again, smashing a lantern. Shards tinkled across the mud. Fog rushed in to fill the dark space left behind, swirling hungrily. Vero gritted his teeth. "Right flank. Draw it away from the east side. Light bearers, circle." Don't let it pick you off. The camp shifted, people moving as one, or trying to anyway. It was messy, imperfect, human, but it did something. A ring of light tightened around the beast, forcing it to turn, to adjust, to choose. Adu's heart hammered. He knew enough to stay back. He was a porter. His job was to carry things and not die. He'd been told that 100 times. But as the beast swung its bulk around to face the shifting line of climbers, he saw where its next step would land. Near the supply racks, near the crates, near the cart they'd spent all morning pushing. And tied to the back of that cart, half hidden under a tarp, was the bundle of spare rope and gear where 3 of the younger porters had taken cover. They huddled there now, eyes wide, frozen. The beast's foot came down. Adu moved. Later, he wouldn't remember deciding to. There was no grand thought, no hero moment. Just a jolt in his muscles, and then he was sprinting, bare feet slapping mud, Jay's startled shout fading behind him. He dove for the cart. Out, he yelled, grabbing the nearest porter by the collar and hauling him sideways. Move! The boy yelped and scrambled. The other 2 followed, tripping over each other as they tumbled into the open. The beast's shadow fell over them. Adu shoved the last boy clear and rolled. The creature's foot slammed down where the cart had been half a heartbeat ago. Wood splintered. Mud erupted. Adu felt the impact through his bones even as he hit the ground and slid, shoulder on fire. He came to a stop face first in cold muck. For a moment there was no sound. Then Jay screamed, Adu! The beast's tail lashed, blindly searching for whatever had moved. It clipped the edge of a crate, sending it flying. Supplies scattered, rope, dried rations, coils of metal, clinking vials of sealed gem dust. One of the vials hit a rock and cracked. The dust inside didn't scatter like normal powder. It ignited in a flash of blue-white, a miniature sun exploding for a heartbeat. The beast recoiled with a shriek as the light seared across its snout. Adu, get back. Vero warned. Porters, clear the center. Climbers, press it now. Adu spat mud and tried to push himself up. His shoulder screamed protest. He looked down and saw blood, a lot of it, for a heartbeat before realizing most wasn't his. Splinters from the crushed cart jutted from the ground inches from where his head had been. Jay skidded to his side, dropping to his knees. Are you insane? He demanded, voice cracking. Yes, Adu wheezed. Apparently. Jay huffed something that was almost a laugh and half a sob. Good. Stay insane. It just saved 3 lives. They staggered back together, putting distance between themselves and the thrashing beast. The climbers pressed in. Now that the corrupted creature was partly blinded, their blades found purchase more often. Gem-charged edges glowed with blue light as they struck joints, hacked at tendons, drove spear points under plating. Each blow cost something. Bruises, cuts, broken fingers. But it added up. Purple light along the wounds flickered, dimming. The beast roared again, but this time the sound cracked. It stumbled, nearly collapsing onto one side. Fog rushed in under its flank like eager hands. Adu watched, chest heaving, as it struggled to rise. It turned its head toward the mountain. For a heartbeat, the line of its body, the tilt of its skull, the way its eyes rolled upward, everything about it looked pleading, as if it were begging the peak for help. The purple glow along its wounds flared one last time, angry and desperate. Something far beneath the earth twisted in response. Adu felt it, like a knife dragged across the underside of his soul. Chain strained. Stone groaned. Not yet. The buried thing snarled again. Not this time. The purple glow died. The corrupted beast took one more stumbling step. Then the ground under it gave way. Not like humanoid. Not slow and sucking. It was cleaner than that. A crack split open beneath its feet, stone and soil rearranging themselves in a single shudder. The creature dropped into the sudden hollow with a final, shocked bellow. Fog collapsed after it, filling the space like water. When the sound faded, there was nothing left but a shallow depression, a few shredded tufts of fur, and the stink of wrongness. Everyone stared. No one moved. Vero was the first to break the silence. Check for survivors, he said, voice rough. Ours, not its. The camp lurched back into motion, some climbers stumbling toward the fallen, some porters scrambling to put out embers where sparks had landed on canvas. Someone cried out as a shoulder was pushed back into its socket. Someone else sat down and threw up. Jay clapped a shaky hand onto Adu's uninjured shoulder. You, he said, still breathing hard, are either the bravest person I've ever met or the dumbest. Adu winced. You keep saying that. Maybe both can be true. Jay sat with Adu, trying to breathe normally. Adu rubbed his chest. I heard it again. Jay looked at him sharply. The calling. Adu nodded. Yeah. He whispered Lola's old line to himself. Haligon's testing you faster than she should. He didn't have words for the vision, for the chains, for the voice. Adu frowned. The mountain didn't do that. He jerked his chin toward the pit. He didn't finish. He didn't know how to finish. Adu's stomach turned. Across the clearing, Vero barked orders, voice regaining its confident rhythm as adrenaline smoothed his edges. We patch up, we sleep in shifts, he said. At first light, we move. We're short one card, but we can redistribute. The mount's unstable this cycle. We get in, we get the cores, we get out. No more delays. One card. One of the senior climbers repeated. We almost lost a third of the camp, Vero. But we didn't, Vero said. Because we're trained. And because no one panicked. His gaze flicked, just once, toward Adu. Mostly. Adu bristled. Vero barked orders to his remaining climbers, trying to rebuild command. Adu muttered under his breath, repeating another one of Lola's old warnings. Blind is the man who thinks the mountain cares for his charts. Jay snorted. That sounds like her. Vero's expression flickered. He looked away first. Everyone on half rest, he said abruptly. Rotate watch in pairs. No one goes near the tree line. No one goes near the pit. And if anything else moves out there tonight. He glanced toward the dark forest. We let the mountain take first swing. The camp settled uneasily. Adu's shoulder throbbed as the adrenaline drained away. His hands shook now that danger had theoretically passed. Jay noticed and handed him a cup of water without comment. They sat again on the rock near the edge of camp. The fires burned a little brighter now, people stoking them higher than necessary, as if they could burn back what had happened. The fog, for once, seemed to hold its distance. For now, you still think the mountain doesn't care? Jay asked after a while, voice quiet. Adu stared at the shallow depression. He thought of the beast's eyes, the way they'd turned toward Haligon, the way the ground had opened at exactly the right moment to swallow it, and nothing else. I think, Adu said slowly, she cares about something. I just don't think it's us. Jay nodded grimly. Yeah, that feels about right. The night stretched on. At some point, someone tried to start a joke to cut the tension. It fell flat. The watchtower creaked with each shift of weight as climbers took turns scanning the forest through fog that didn't want to let them see. The pressure in Adu's chest didn't go away. If anything, it deepened. The mountain had just moved. Not just metaphorically, not in stories, not in old tales told by firelight. He'd felt it. He'd seen the proof in churned earth and vanished flesh. If she can do that, he thought, what else can she do? The answer came with the same terrible softness as before. Climb. He closed his eyes, jaw tight. What if I don't? He whispered into the blanket of fog and night. What if I stay down here and carry crates and go home? No answer came, but somewhere deep inside the stone under his feet, something ancient smiled. Mountains didn't argue. They didn't debate. They set the path, and then they waited to see who would take it.